Italy, so in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. I'm going there soon. Oh.
You'll see Ravindra?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, me too.
Nice.
He said he's going to travel for some work during the week that I'm there, so we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Nice, very nice. Well, Kanu Priya is a wonderful hostess, and she has a Kanu Priya Didi. She lives in a nearby city. She's always happy to have guests, so you might want to visit there as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're live now. So this evening I wanted to discuss this month of Purushottam. This is a special month. I can't remember how often exactly, but it's like something like every few years, something like the February, right? Sometimes, what is the thing with February? Sometimes it has a different number.
An extra day.
Right.
And
how often is that?
It's like every 4 years.
Okay, so it's something like that, this Purushottam month.
They actually subtract a day, I think, every 4 years.
I see.
So normally it's so long, and then once every 4 years it's less.
I see.
I think.
Okay. So sometimes the Vedic calendar has 13 months instead of 12. In this regard, the following article was written by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhardev Goswami Maharaj. It was first published in Bengali as the editorial to the Sri Gaudiya Darshan magazine of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Navadvip, 16 September 1955. So written by our Param Gurudev. And it is, as it's explained here, it is considered to be a holy month. The Lord has given His own name to this month, Purushottam. Okay. This year there is an extra month, Purushottam month. It gives a more favorable opportunity for Krishna Seva, and it is a particularly favorable opportunity for the fortunate jivas. Purushottam month has all good qualities, just like Bhagavan Purushottam himself, and is considered the crown of all months. Even the most holy months, such as Vishakha month, cannot be compared with this Purushottam month. Bhagavan, the Lord himself, has mercifully accepted this month and given it all his power. We know such things by reading Sri Brihanaradiya Purana. The materialistic Smarta Sampradaya, by their karmic standard of judgment, avoid performing rituals during this month, and they avoid anything considered materially auspicious. By their calculation, this extra month is materially barren or gloomy. It's very funny. So these smartas, we hear this word a lot, is referring to this section, very prevalent in India. They follow the various like rituals and regulations given in the scriptures for the purpose of obtaining good karma, for punya, you could say, for material punya, in order to ensure their own comfort and happiness in this life and the next life, in a materialistic sense. So according to, so persons who follow the external aspects, rulings of the Vedas, without understanding that the internal, only in consideration of their own acquirement, their own gain, and ignoring the real inner essence of the scriptures. One with deeper understanding knows that everything in the scriptures is meant to promote God consciousness, remembrance of Hari. And in consideration of that central and higher principle, then certain rules and regulations may need to be adjusted sometimes. Smartavya satatam vishnor vishmartavya najatu chit sarva vidi nisedasyor etayor eva kinkara. To always remember Vishnu, to never forget Vishnu. All the rules and regulations given in the scriptures, they are servants of these two principles. And so we see, especially in the case in recent history of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he made many adjustments, to the extent that he created many enemies for himself. Because understanding the real essence and purport of the scriptures, he made various adjustments as to how certain things are applied and practiced in our day-to-day lives. Okay, so this is very, very nice example that although this month is for those who are, we can say those who are trying to approach the nirgun plane, the transcendental plane, which is wholly beyond anything of this material world. For them, they consider this to be a very sacred, the holiest of months. But for those who are calculating according to gain and loss within this material plane, they see it as a useless month, and they reject it. And it is a nice reminder for us that no attainment of this world can compare even slightly to our spiritual attainment in connection with the nirgun plane. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that if we do karma properly, then we gain some capacity to enter within jnana. Sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. So this is within the line of development that is presented in Bhagavad Gita, that first one will practice nishkam karma, selfless action, and through that one's consciousness will naturally become purified, and then one will become qualified to enter into development of jnana, of knowledge, of spiritual knowledge. But what is the nature? So this sarvam karma kilam partha jnane paris, the fruit of good action, of your works, your action, is jnana, the awakenment of knowledge. But here Srila Sridhar says, but the fruit of that knowledge, the knower and the known, are all nirvishesh, or similar to mukti. So what is the nature of that jnana? It is connected with the impersonal conception. There is no touch of devotion there, the personal conception of the Absolute. By doing holy activities, we may be able to attain heaven. But after finishing that good reaction, we've returned to this world known as Martya Lok, the plane of death. In this way, those who aspire for material things have to undergo reactions to their actions. So whatever benefit you attain through your karma, it is a temporary thing. It will vanish eventually. The devotees of Krishna, however, are worshippers of Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Their process of worshipping is given in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nija Bishta Krishna Preshta Pacheta Lagia Nirantar Seva Kore Antarman Hoya. They are 24 hours, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So, eternally engaged in kirtan of Hari. So they are 24 hours per day engaged for the service of the Lord, for they do not have a moment for their own sense enjoyment. They cannot tolerate those who are against doing seva, especially those who want some result in this world. When they see these types of jivas, they dislike them more than hell. We can see many scriptural examples of this. Similarly, the worshippers of Sagun, the plane within the modes of nature, always show their objection to those who are worshippers of the Nirgun, the realm above the modes of nature. There is no lack of scriptural examples here also So the two have completely opposite interest. They both appear to be useless to each other. I like that example in Mahabharata when Krishna's resting one day and Arjuna and Duryodhana, they both come at the same time to see Krishna. And Duryodhana, he wants Krishna's army, and Arjuna, he wants Krishna himself. First, Duryodhana's a little worried because they both come to ask Krishna for something, and Jai Shishi Guru Ganangaradha Giri Hari Shukti Jai. At first, Duryodhana is a little worried because they've both come at the same time, and Krishna gives Arjuna the first choice, of course. So Duryodhana, he's a little concerned. but so Krishna says, one of you can have my army, one of you can have me. I will not fight. But Arjuna, of course, he chooses Krishna. And Duryodhana, he feels very victorious, very pleased after that. And Arjuna is very happy, so they're both satisfied. Neither of them can comprehend the other's position. Actually, Krishna gives us all what we want, ultimately. He gives us what we want. We want to appreciate what is truly valuable. Sanatana Goswami and his touchstone, right? When that man comes to him asking for his touchstone, and Sanatana Goswami, oh yes, it is somewhere in the garbage over there. If you can find it, you can take it, no problem. And then he's thinking, hang on, what does he have that he considers that to be garbage? He must have some much higher wealth. It is like, like these birds, they're attracted to these like glittery objects that are actually like useless, right? So those who are attracted to the covered, the materialistic side of things, it is like they consider garbage to be valuable. But the spiritualists, they can perceive that. Yanisha sarvabhutanam, that verse. Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami tasyam jagati bhutani sanisha pashato mune. What is night to one is day for the other. What is day for one is night for the other. For one who is awake in the spiritual side, the subjective side, those who are awake in the world of the senses, the objective side, that is like night to them, and vice versa. And we're like struggling somewhere in the middle. We're struggling in the world of the senses, but we're getting some glimpse of light above, and sometimes we're coming up for getting some air. We're sinking again. The smartas, those under the rules of mundane nature, their material duties are already scheduled within the regular 12 months. So they dismiss this extra month. It's sometimes I think of karma and gyan as like a weather, like following a weather report, but like fanatically following a weather report without actually like seeing what the weather is outside. Like it's like raining out and you're hanging your clothes outside, like because the weather said it's not going to rain today. Sometimes I think of karma and gyan like that, because it's like an artificial reading of the environment. It's ignoring the natural flow of things. So these smartas, they have their system. You know, there's the 12 months of the year, and they have their particular activities which are designated for each month. But then there's this anomalous month that comes up every now and again, and they just ignore it because it doesn't fit into their boxes and their system, you know. So they're ignoring the actual substance of things, and they're following the ritual and the form. Ignoring the real purpose and flow of the environment. And it is imposing something upon the environment rather than moving in harmony with that flow. However, those who continually spend their time in worship and service of the Lord give much attention to this month. They know fruitive activity is a cause of material bondage. However, those who desire material results from fruitive activity consider this month to be barren, to be materially unhealthy. Oh, another nice example comes to mind when that Brahmin curses Mahaprabhu to lose his family life, to lose his material life. And Mahaprabhu's dancing in joy. What you consider to be a curse, I consider to be a blessing. If only we can have such vision and such faith. Such persons dismiss this month. Therefore, this extra month feels it is rejected. So it feels the necessity to surrender to its master. It's very nice. This month feels rejected by these materialistic thinkers because they've said, oh, he's useless. So he feels some need to approach his Lord for shelter. Dinera adike, what is that in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Dinera adike, I can't remember, but that the Lord gives more mercy to the humble, to the fallen, to the poor. So feeling rejected, and he becomes eligible for extra mercy from the Lord. The Lord always gives much protection to the surrendered, so he gives all his own wealth and property to this month. And in this way it takes on his properties and becomes like him. Therefore, the Lord gave his own name, Purushottam, making this extra month the king of all months. He himself glorified this month and gave it to the hand of his most dear devotees, whom he loves as himself. The devotees serve the Lord Goloka Bihari Purushottam very happily in this Purushottam month, the month when the materialists are very silent in their activities. Very nice. The Lord always gives much protection to the surrender. This is his promise. This is expressed in Ramchandra's declaration. Sakrideva prapano yastavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai didamyetad vratam mama. This is my vrata, this is my vow. That if one even once, just one time approaches me and asks me for shelter, I will supply that to them for all time. For all time. Somebody is experiencing some apprehension, some fear in this world, they come to me praying for protection from that, then I will supply them that for all time, forever. This is the Lord's solemn declaration. And then this is the Lord's nature. That although He is the supreme, infinite, absolute, if one finite will approach Him in this surrendered mood, He will give everything. He will give His full backing to that soul. It is an extraordinary thing. The link of love, it is so powerful. It is so powerful. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that Srila Saraswati Thakur gave the example, if a poor girl living on the street, if a prince falls in love with her, then they will marry, and then she will become the queen of the kingdom. Just the day before, she was in the street, she was on the street. But through that link of love, and she was a nobody yesterday, but through that link of love, then she can be almost of equal power, you can say, because of that backing, due to the link of love, the connection of love. This is the power of devotion. I was sharing with him the other day one talk I heard of Param Guru Maharaj. He was describing surrender as the greatest invention.
Invention?
Yes. The greatest invention, and I think he also said the most powerful thing known to man, like that. Why? Because of this, it can conquer the Supreme Lord. That Parabrahma, that Supreme Absolute, he will become subdued by the love. He will become controlled by the love of his devotee. So it is the greatest invention. Aham bhakta pradino Aham bhakta pradino Hyasvatancha iva dvija Saruvir bhakta hridayo Bhaktir bhakta janapriya. It is as if I have no independence. Grashta hridayo. They have captured my heart. They have seized my heart. I have no independence. This is the Lord's nature. Shri Krishna Karshini Chasa. It will attract. It has the power to draw down. So anyhow, I wanted to have some reflection, because in our days we tend to just get caught up with all of our daily things, and we forget to stop sometimes and reflect on these things. But wanted to take note of this, and I know if I read it with all of you, then I'll remember it. 16th of May to the 23rd of June, this Purushottam Month. I remember in Navadvip, I don't remember the last time we had this Purushottam Month, but it might have been quite a few years ago. I don't remember.
Often this Purushottam.
That's what I'm saying, I can't remember. But it's not so often.
Is it like 13 years?
No, not that much.
Okay.
Not that much. Maybe 5 years, maybe. I can't remember. But I remember one year in Navadvip, we had a whiteboard like you have in Sokel, and we put like some daily quotes. And I remember one year during the Purushottam Month, I was trying to every day put some verse that had the word Purushottam in it. There's one very nice one. Kim Bruve Purushottama. How does it go? Na paradi cha kaschana. I can't remember. Na paradi cha kaschana. Kim Bruve Purushottama. Can you pass me a copy of Prapana Jivanamritam? Na paradi. Thank you. I should remember. Mattulyo, I remember. Mattulyo, Nashipa Patma, Naparadi Chakaschana, Parihare Pilajame, Kimbruve Purushottama. And this is spoken by Rup and Sanatan when they meet with Mahaprabhu in Ramkeli. Their humility is so extreme. And this is one of their prayers. Purushottam seva partino bhaktasya nijalaja karayogyata nivedanam. Param Guru Maharaj's illumination, the regretful submission of incompetence by the devotee who aspires for the service of the Supreme Person. Matulyo nashti papatma naparadi chakaschana parihere pi laja me kim bruve purushottama. There is no parallel to my sinful, criminal life. Everything that can be conceived of as bad is found in me. O Supreme Lord, I am even ashamed to come before you to petition. Please forgive my offenses. What more can I say than this? Matulyo nashti papama. As sinful as me you will not find. Naparadi chakashnai. As offensive as I you will not find. Priherepi lajja men. Lajja, I have shame even to come before you. Kim bruve Purushottama. What can I say, my Lord? What can I say? What else can I say? This is my position. That section is very beautiful in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's another very beautiful verse there, which I can't remember, but expressing that I'm ashamed. I feel so lowly that I'm ashamed to come in front of you. But at the same time, you are so wonderful and so attractive. I can't help myself. So I'm irresistibly drawn to you.
There's in Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna acknowledges Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Does he mention Purushottam in that passage?
Maybe. I'm sure that is used in Bhagavad Gita. I don't remember.
Okay, I thought I'd ask.
I can't remember. Maybe. The Vishwarup, the universal form you're thinking of. Maybe. But this is the feeling in the hearts of the devotees. Sometimes we think of service as like a drag, like it's a burden for us to do service. But the real feeling of the devotees is that they don't feel qualified to do service. Oh, can I really wash the dishes? I don't feel qualified for that. This is the real feeling. They feel that the real conception is that all the service of Krishna, it is Srimati Radharani's service. It is her property. It is her zone. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used this Latin expression, major domo. But she is the housekeeper, the major domo of all of Krishna's affairs, household affairs. She's the housekeeper. So it is all her department, every service related to Krishna, from the cooking and the cleaning and the garland making and everything. So from that perspective, the devotee feels any small service, it is actually her service. And if we can be used as an instrument in some way, that is a great opportunity for us. We are not worthy. We will think that service is actually above us. We are not qualified for that. So then how is it that we still do it? Because he's so attractive. He's He's so wonderful, and we feel there's nothing else to do and there's nowhere else to go. So I'm standing here on the doorstep. Please, can you give me entrance? Give me some small service connection. Some remote, any remote connection will do, my Lord. It is so inconceivably valuable and superior to me if I can have a position as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, servant, servant. That will be the greatest attainment of my life. Tadasa dasa dasanam dasatvam dehi me prabhu. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhu, I believe. Srila Sridhar Maharshi, he says in relation to that verse, my faith may be so strong and so firm that I will be satisfied with the least connection with Him. I shall not run for a position in the higher officer class. This is Srila Sridhar Maharshi's words. I will not run for a position in the higher officer class, but my faith may be so strong and so firm that even the most remote connection will be considered of infinite value to me. Dasyaya temama, no. Sakyaya temama, namostu nityam, dasyaya temama, nasostu satyam. Also Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. That I am eternally paying my dandavat to intimate connection with the Lord. I'm paying my dandavat to that close connection, but I am very happy to have any small service. Majjammana phalam midam madhu kaitabre mad partaniya madanugraha esha eva tvad britya paricharaka britya brityasya brityam itimam smara lokanat. This will be the fulfillment of my life. Majjanmana phalam madhu kaitabre mad partaniya. This is my prayer. But partaniya madanugraha esha eva. This will be your real anugraha, your real grace upon me. That tvad britya means servant. Tvad britya paricharaka brityasya brityam itimam smara lokana. It's Kula Shekhar. If you will consider me to be the servant of your servant, that will be everything for me. So faith is what is required. Faith is what we are missing. So Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur sings, Sakala Chadiya Bai, Shraddha Devir Gunagai, Tar Kripai Bhakti Dite Pare. Through faith we can get everything. So let us throw everything else away. Let us sing the glories of faith. This is what we need. And then there's a very nice article that I think Tyagi Maharaj published it about this verse. And Srila Sridhar Maharshi explained, so faith is the foundation. Let me see if I can find, here it is. It's right here. Somebody asked Srila Sridhar Maharshi about this. Sakala Chadiya Bai, Shraddha Devir Gunagai, Jar Kripa Bhakti Dite Pade, Karma Gyan Tapa Yoga Sakali to Karma Bhog, Karma charaite ke honare. Sakala chiriya bai. Shadha devir gunagai. Jar kripa bhakti dite pare. Duty, knowledge, austerity, yoga. All are simply suffering in karma. And none can free you from karma. Abandon them all, O brother, and sing the glories of Shraddha Devi, whose mercy can give you bhakti. And so somebody asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj about this, and he says, in one word, it is faith that is producing all these things. First we must have faith, and by the grace of faith we may have so many things. So he is trying to concentrate all his attention and devotion towards the very foundation. Oh yes, this is what I was trying to remember. It is just as Ramananda Rai said, when again the Yugala Murti, divine couple, will come to be revealed in my heart, I shall try to worship Se Gati Kan Pal, those seconds, minutes and hours. So this example, only Srila Sridhar, this is a very high example, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. This is where he's living. This is, as I recall, is an expression of Radharani. She says, when Krishna came before me, then of course there was such intensity of ecstasy, but very quickly it vanished. That vision. So next time that Krishna comes to me, I will ignore Krishna and I will worship time. So, so that time will allow Krishna to stay for some time. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj, she's giving this example for faith. That faith is the very foundation. So the analysis, the consideration here is that time is what is allowing this to take place in the first place. So I will just worship time. So in the same way, Shraddha, faith, is the very foundation of our spiritual life, by which everything else is coming from that, from Shraddha. So give your attention to the foundation. So without minding what the time is producing, I shall give my attention only to the time that can produce that. In this way, attention is given to the basis. And this is something that is, repeated so much by our Guru Varga, that I believe it was one of Srila Saraswati Thakur's expressions, we're doing the groundwork, We're preparing the ground, we're preparing the field, we're making the foundation. It's not necessary to run and jump to go to so many higher things. We must give our attention to the foundation, and the fruit will come of itself. If you're watering the root of the plant, then you don't have to sit and stare and watch. Is the flower coming? Is the fruit coming? If you're taking care of the root, if you're taking care of that, the fundamental part, then you don't even have to think about the fruit. It's going to come of its own accord. So this is our whole practice. This is why we cannot understand people who run to want to read and hear about so many higher things. Like, we're not ready for that. When it's time for that, it will come of its own accord. It's like a mother with a baby. When it's time for her baby to come, nobody's going to have to tell her. She doesn't have to go and study the signs and symptoms and what you're supposed to. It's like you're going to know when it's time. It will happen by instinct and by the forces of nature. So in the same way, when we're ready for some higher platform, it will come of its own accord. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it. So our focus is on the foundation, the root, and the rest will come of its own accord when we are ready for it. Ihamali Shetche Shravan Kirtanari Jal. From here, the gardener sprinkles the water of hearing, chanting, and so forth. Here, the creeper has grown up and reached the feet of Krishna. So far, the progress has advanced. So here, this is from Mahaprabhu's instructions to Srila Rupa Goswami, right? The seed, receiving the seed of faith, the seed of devotion. Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavanji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. So the fortunate soul wandering in this world, they come in connection with Guru Krishna, they receive the seed of devotion, and they plant it in the soil of their heart. Then they're watering that with Shravan and Kirtan, hearing and chanting. And then that creeper, if that seed is properly nourished, it will grow into a creeper, and it will pierce through all the coverings of the material layers of this Sagun plane. And it will go also through all the layers of the spiritual sky, and it will reach the feet of Krishna, Goloka Vrindavan, if it is properly taken care of. So here, Param Guru Maharaj is saying, even though the creeper has reached the feet of Krishna, still the gardener should be more attentive to pouring water on the roots to the foundation. Then automatically they will be enlivened and will get the results, but not directly. Vichakan kodi deki te chahile hoi aki agochar. When I look to see him more clearly, he disappears. This is the nature of these higher things. If we try to put it under our microscope, it goes. If I give attention to the upper side more, if we try to catch it, no. Srila Pushta Krishna Prabhu, he shared one nice thing that Srila Gurudev told him, that many persons, they came to Guru Maharaj and they tried to take something from him. They asked many questions, they tried to collect some knowledge, and they put it in their pocket, but when they got back home, they found their pocket was empty. There was nothing actually there. Because there's no substance in that. You're just dealing with the cover. If I give attention to the upper side more, it will disappear. I should always be attentive to dasya, service, towards the foundation. Then, indirectly, everything will come to me. Vichakan kodi deki te chahile hoi aki agochar. Wherever I shall try to derive some consequence direct from the effect, it will disappear. It is also like we experience in spiritual life. If we ever start to think that we've attained something, then it's all gone. Through our service, through some devotion, some touch of devotion in our heart, our efforts, then we will actually attain something substantial. And we may be, giving so much enlivenment to others on the path. But if we start to think, oh yes, I did this, and I did that, and I'm doing this, and this is mine, and it's all gone. Suddenly it has no value at all. So the safe position is always, I'm nowhere. Not in a depressed way, but because we're looking up, we're seeing the infinite sky. Maybe we see that we've crossed some things below, but we're looking up and we're seeing there's the infinite beyond. So we can never feel that we've attained anything. Rather, we're on an infinite journey, and there's no final destination, actually. There's not going to be a moment when you've graduated and here's your certificate, There's no graduation here. There's not going to be a graduation ceremony. Sorry. But you're going to be an eternal student, in the university of infinite. We have to be ready to accept such a position. Chinese finger trap? Yeah. What's that?
It's like a basket coil that you put your fingers in, and if you try to pull yourself out, it contracts.
Huh.
So the only way to get out is to actually, ironically, go in.
Really?
Yeah. So it's conceiving like escape and advancing is actually counterproductive.
Interesting. So we always have to feel we are on the journey. We can never like have it in our hand, like, yes, I've got it. That can never happen, Here's my examination result. I did it. I have it. And, this is why things like Facebook can be a little dangerous, because it's like we're making some record of our achievement. Like, I did this and I did that, and here's the evidence of that. But we are not keeping any record. That was something Gurudev used to say sometimes. We are not keeping any record. We are living in the what is it that he said? We are living in the transcendental service world, and so we are not keeping any record of things. He commented once, like, maybe it was my foolishness sometimes, but like, and kind of not completely straight talking, but like one thing he mentioned was how Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada sent him so many letters, and he was saying, I never like kept a record, It was like he was keeping that in his heart. I never kept any record, but like now in certain circumstances, when persons want to know like evidence of your relationship with Swami Maharaj, like it could be useful, And he's like, I'm not thinking like that, like keeping some evidence, keeping some record of that, And there is a song, a poem of Rabindranath Tagore, Gurudev liked to quote sometimes, saying that nobody knows how high I have flown in the sky, but I know I have flown. Like, there's no record of that, There's no Instagram post of that, But it happens, I felt the tangible truth of that in my heart. But nowadays, it tends to be more that we want the Instagram post more than we want the actual experience. So I can show everybody, I did this, We want the tangible reality within our hearts, that substantial thing. Whether other people know or not, that just doesn't matter. My joke is, there's that expression, I think it's like a Buddhist thing, if a tree falls in the forest but nobody's there, is there a sound? Have you heard that? You've heard that before? If a tree falls in a forest but nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? This is like some expression. I think it's a Buddhist thing. But my joke is, if it's not on Facebook, then did it really happen?
another version of that.
Oh yeah.
If the man speaks up his mind alone in the forest, is he still wrong?
Is he still wrong?
Wrong. If the man speaks his mind in the forest where his wife cannot hear him, is he still wrong?
Well, I think I'll just finish this. It's just 2 paragraphs more, and then we can end with that. Doinyam, humility. I'll start. Wherever I shall try to derive some consequence direct from the effect, it will disappear. But when I engage myself only in service, the lowest service, then that will grow more and more. This is the secret. To adhere to the lower position as much as possible. And then the environment will give more and more support for us to go higher. And when we say higher, we mean in terms of faith and our affinity for the ideal, not an external position. Doinyam, humility, means to make yourself lower. By taking the name, automatically other things will come. But if you neglect the foundation, everything will disappear. That is the idea. Always your attention should be drawn towards the lower form of service. Radharani says, he wants to enjoy me, but my attention is always to serve him, not to be a partner in his enjoyment. That should be our attention always, dasya, pouring water on the root. That is the nature of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion. So it is all a product of Shraddha Devi. If she is withdrawn, everything is gone, finished. So I shall try my best to maintain my gratefulness, thankfulness to that very foundation, by whose grace I may hope to have so many things. They are not mine. They belong to Shraddha Devi, to the Swarup Shakti. I am Tatastha Shakti, and all wealth belongs to her. Yoga Maya, Swarup Shakti, Shraddha Devi. By her grace, I think that I have gotten so many things, but they belong to her. So I should not be ungrateful to her. All throughout my attempt, I may be fully awake only through her grace. It is all extended grace that I get, not a matter of right. I must be conscious of this fact. It is the wealth of my Gurudev, of Shraddha. I should be wakeful to this truth. And this concludes in Parakya again. It is very clear there. It does not belong to me. At any time I may lose it. It is very rare. Only a chance is being produced. I am not fit for that. I have no right to that. It is so rare. With such attention, we shall try to connect, fully awake to the fact. Sakala Chadiya Bai Shraddha Devir Gunagai Jar Kripa Bhakti Dite Pare. Abandon them all and sing the glories of Shraddha Devi, whose grace can give us devotion. Give up everything else, throw everything else away, and sing the glories of Shraddha Devi, who can give us everything. Okay, we can stop there. Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Param Guru Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Purushottam Month Ki Jai. All right, well, want to sing Radharani Devi Dasi? Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Hari Gopinata Madana Mohana Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Radha Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Rupa Sanatan Vatara Gunata Nijiva Gopala Mata Tatara Gunata Nichai Gosai Kodi Charana Vandana Pudhana Nitai Gosai Jar Mui Sanadata Shadrasa Jajara Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanivasa Janame Janame More Abhinasa Saiva Saityabe Naje Koilo Basa Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Kanila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Amana Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kodiyata Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Nadotamadasa Jai 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 Honey More